Hello, I'm Avadhut Das, your personal subconscious clairvoyant mind trainer. So there are these two words, subconscious and clairvoyant. What does these two mean? When we say subconscious, what this means is below the level of conscious awareness. That means we have just one mind. It is not that we have multiple minds. One mind, but that region of the mind where you have conscious access to is called conscious mind. And that region of your own mind where at present you do not have conscious access to can be called as subconscious mind. What actually happens is whatever we do at our subconscious level of the mind gets reflected or manifest in the conscious level. For example, all of a sudden you may realize that you are beginning to get angry, and very soon your anger may go out of control, whereas your intelligence says you don't want to be angry. Or you may notice that you are procrastinating or you are being lazy, but that is not what you want to do, but it is as if you have no control over it, and you cannot help being lazy, you cannot help procrastinating, you cannot help getting irritated. So how are these things happening? Or various phobias like acrophobia, fear of height, unexplained fear, hydrophobia, fear of approaching some water body, and you have no logical understanding why are you so afraid about it. Or fear of flying in aeroplanes. So why these things are happening with you? Sometimes you feel very motivated. Sometimes you are not feeling that motivated. You may meet a person and the very first impression might be like, I know this person or I can trust this person. Why does this happen? All these are being controlled by your subconscious mind. So once you can gain access to your subconscious mind and begin to take it in your own conscious control, your subconscious mind will no more be your subconscious mind. It will then become your conscious mind. So it's like, think of a pond. You are standing in the waters inside the pond. And let us say you have water up to your neck level or throat level. When you look down, maybe because the water is muddy, so you cannot clearly notice or see your knees. But if you allow the water to simply settle down because of passing of the time and there is no disturbance, so the water settles down. As it begins to settle, you will begin noticing that now I can see my heels or my ankles. And after a prolonged period of allowing the water to settle down, you might even begin to notice the little rocks or stones at the base of the pond where you are standing. So similarly, currently our mind is thinking various things. We are analyzing our past, analyzing our future, and working with our present sets of information that is coming in, bombarding through the five senses. So we are too busy at all times, and thus probably you are not even noticing what is going on in your subconscious mind. But if you allow your mind to calm down, to settle down, then you can begin to become aware of things that are going on in the subconscious mind. And very soon, with practice, you can begin to take control of your subconscious mind. Once your subconscious mind is in your control, you can desire or order it to do certain things and not do certain things, which will ultimately influence your conscious mind, aware mind, and external experience of the world with your body, with your mind, with your senses. And thus you will begin to bring your own life in your conscious control. Sometimes life is like a soccer ball, a football, which is simply sitting in one place in the ground, and somebody comes by and kicks it at whichever speed or power they want to, in whichever direction they want to. Maybe after the ball has received the kick, it will roll down on the ground. Maybe it will fly off, take off in the sky. But while it is traveling and yet not finished its journey, somebody from somewhere else will come and give it another kick. And the ball will now begin moving in another direction, at another speed, in another manner. So is your life something like this ball, which anybody comes and kicks in whichever direction they want to, and you are no more in your own control? Then it is very necessary that you take your subconscious mind in your own control, and you decide when you want to move, in which direction you want to move, at what speed you want to move, and in which manner or which way you want to move. See, in life, anything and everything that human being experiences is through the faculty of their own mind. For example, let's say you just heard a good news. Some good news has come to you because of some reason, and you are very joyous, very happy. At such a time, there is another person with you. At such a time, maybe there's another person with you whom you love a lot, whom you respect a lot, and that person also honors and loves and respects you a lot. So when you are so joyous, so happy, you want to share your happiness, so you express your happiness to that person, and that person also reciprocates back with happiness, and then probably offers you a beautiful sweet. So you take that sweet and you begin eating it. The taste of this sweet will be out of this world, because this person loves you and you love this person, both respect each other, and the news is so wonderful. But let us say the sweet is the same, but instead of receiving a good news, a very disastrous news has come, and you are totally heartbroken. You are as if practically destroyed. Your life has practically broken down. Suppose such a news has come, and also the person near you is a person whom you do not like at all, and that person has caused you a lot of harm in the past. You simply cannot tolerate that person. So when such a news has come to you, and the person who is giving you the sweet is this kind of person, but the sweet is exactly the same sweet, and you take that sweet and you begin eating it, what kind of taste do you think you will get now compared to the earlier taste? You see, there will be a difference now. What was the difference? State of your mind. So which means every experience that we get in this world, we receive from this world, is ultimately an interpretation given by our own mind. It is not the world itself that we experience. It is our interpretation of the world. Just like if there is cloudy weather, one person may say, "Oh, such a bad weather." Another person may say, "Oh, fantastic, such a romantic weather." Weather is the same. It is how you interpret it gives you the experience that you actually experience. So that interpretation is always done through the human mind. So be it an experience of receiving education, working in a particular relationship, in your business, in your career, in your spiritual life, or some social work that you are doing, or maybe a sports event, a cultural program, whatever experience you are getting, it is all happening because there is a filter of your own mind between you and the world out there. So once you can take charge of this mind, bring it in your own control, remold it, reform it, and utilize it to gain desired experiences from this world, then it doesn't matter what experience the world is giving you. Ultimately, what will matter is how you are receiving it. How is the interpretation by your own mind? Thus, controlling your own mind gives you control over everything of your life. Everything. There is nothing that is left outside the dimension of your mind. Let us say you want to go for payment collection. Somebody owes you certain amount of money. So you approach that person. "Oh sir, you owe me this money. Kindly make your payment." And that person says, "Oh, come back next week." I don't have money right away. So you go back next week and that person says, come next Wednesday. So you go there next Wednesday, or next month, and next month, and next month. So there are people who keep on delaying their payments for months at end, and in cases, years at end. Sometimes decades pass by and you're still waiting for your payment that you were supposed to have received such a long time ago. So what you can do, you can use the power of your subconscious mind to communicate with the subconscious mind of that person and find out, detect information with the power of your subconscious mind about how much money he actually has in hand which he can really spare. So let us say you have to receive 40,000, but that person currently has only 25,000. So instead of going and asking him for 40,000, and thus that person is thinking, oh, he's asking for 40, but I don't have 40, and he says, I don't have this money, please come back later. Instead of that, if you had found out by reading that person's mind, by detecting energy of his mind, that he has 25,000 spareable funds with him. So you could have as well asked him, see, you owe me 40,000, but kindly do one thing. For now you give me 25,000. The remaining, next month I will come and collect. And that person would say, yes, this I can do. This is doable for me. I do have that much money. But why was he not saying it earlier? Because it never occurred to him. Why did not occur to him? That's how human beings are. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we overlook. There is oversight. So you gave that person a specific amount which that person can actually utilize. And thus now when you're returning back home, you're returning back with at least 25,000 in your hand. Instead of returning empty-handed, now you have something. Now the burden is reduced. Now he can pay back. Next month, go and communicate with him mentally and then physically and receive back all your funds. What about investments? Suppose you have 70,000 units of currency with you, which you want to invest, and you desire certain amount of appreciation in certain period of time. So how do you distribute your portfolio? Where all do you invest? How much do you invest? For what duration do you invest? So that at the end of 35 days or 2 years or 15 years, whatever your period of investment is, you receive this much money, fund back. How do you know where to invest? What is the right time to buy? What is the right time to hold? Or what is the right time to sell? You can use the power of your subconscious mind to traverse the dimension of time. Time is an energy. You, the living entity, living person, you are also an energy. So if you can make these two energies compatible, then you can traverse over the dimension of time, the energy of time. And you can go back in time to detect information which you otherwise did not have access to. You can travel forward in time to detect information which otherwise your five senses do not have access to. Similarly, location or space is also an energy. So make your personal life potency energy compatible with space energy. And thus you can travel across time and space to collect information. Yes, this is called remote viewing or ESP. Premonition, precognition, intuition, ESP, remote viewing, remote influencing, time regression, time progression, time distortion. What is time distortion? Time is an energy. If you can dive into that energy, you can increase the experience of your stay in that energy and thus experience more time in apparently less time. What are the benefits? Let's say a student has to study a book or a chapter. The available time to you is barely 1 hour or 2 hours. But dive into the energy of time and expand its experience. Thus now you have 4 hours or 3 hours of time to study. So peacefully, in a relaxed manner, go on studying the correct way for 3 hours. After you have finished studying for 3 hours, look at your wristwatch and presto, barely 1.5 hours have passed. But you have experienced 3 hours. Same for writing your exams. So your exam is for a period of 2.5 hours or 3 hours. So as you begin to write your exam, dive into the energy of time and experience it in an enlarged manner. Thus, go on writing the exam, a 3-hour exam, for a period of 4 hours. Once you've finished writing the exam, now do a complete revision for another 1 hour. 5 hours are over. Do a second revision for half an hour. 5.5 hours are over. Look at the watch. It is exactly half of that which has got over. You still have so much time available to you. Get up in style, walk away. Then you submit your paper and walk away. While the other students are still bothering and worrying, what is happening? We have not even finished writing our exam for the first time, and this person has finished writing exam, done 2 revisions and is going away before the time. But actually you have spent so much time, 5.5 hours. But they don't know because they have not experienced the energy of time with their personal life potency energy in that manner. So this is time distortion. Expand the experience of time or contract it. Let's say you are on a 3-hour flight or an 8 hours flight, a long flight, 2 hours also, that's okay. Or you have to wait at a particular place for a certain event to happen, certain person to come, or certain things to happen. So wherever you are waiting, where you need to wait, and you're getting bored, who will wait such a long time? You're thinking maybe. So at the beginning of that period, that means as the plane is beginning to take off, contract the energy of time. Time will not get contracted, time will remain as it is. But your experience of time will change. That means your mind will now begin working in such a way that this whole 2 hours of time or 8 hours of time, your mind will make you experience as barely half an hour of time. The time remains as it is in the world. You're not working with the time. You're working with your own experience of the mind. And your mind changes this experience. Thus, the flight just takes off and the snacks etc. are served. And then you look out of the window or simply go through a magazine or doze off for a moment. And then suddenly you hear the announcement that we are beginning to land. Cabin crew at the stations, please. Thus, this 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours just became half an hour for you. So what is the benefit? It is not just a mental experience. This is also a physical experience. Suppose you have to wait somewhere for 6 hours. You will get exhausted. Your bodily will get exhausted. But if you have to wait somewhere for 15 minutes or half an hour, that rest will actually rejuvenate your body, revitalize your body. Your mind will become fresh and your body will become energetic and fresh. That is what will happen in time distortion. When you have done time distortion, after a 6-hour flight or 6-hour journey or 6-hour wait, you will feel and your body will feel, your mind will feel, your experience will feel that, oh, I've just taken a 15-minute nap or 15 minutes rest. And thus you're feeling more energetic, more powerful, ready to go. And thus you're more prepared for success. And one who is prepared for success has better chances of getting the success. So this is one thing. Then what about past energies? For example, when we were in our mother's womb, at that time, probably our mother had certain experience in this world. Maybe she was reading a book, maybe she was watching a news program on a television, maybe she was watching some cinema, or she overheard people speaking, or it was her own personal experience. So whatever impressions she had in her mind, that mind was shared with us because we were in our mother's womb. We had a shared mind. But because she is an adult, she could differentiate that this is not the experience of my personal life. This is an outer experience, an external experience of somebody else. I am simply becoming aware of it. So I don't have to worry about it. It's not my life. it is somebody else's. She is an adult, so she has this logical ability. She can utilize her sense of logic. But we were in our mother's womb sharing this mind's experience, and we are not yet grown up, not yet mature enough to understand what is logic or what is right, what is wrong. So whatever impression came, we simply accepted it. And thus a subconscious impression was created in our mind. Then after some time, after a few months or weeks, we were delivered, we took birth. And that information still is being held in our own subconscious. And as we keep growing in this life, that subconscious information still remains there. And it guides our life's choices. It guides our life's experiences. Everything we see through those glasses, those tinted glasses of our past experience of the while we were in our mother's womb. So how can we correct that? We need to enter deep in our meditation, and from the depth of meditation we need to identify that negative thought pattern, that belief system, those impressions in our mind, and erase them, peel them out, remove them, and replace them with positive thoughts, positive energies, desired experiences, desired thought processes. And thus our subconscious will now begin to think in this new manner. For example, while we are a small child, maybe we are very energetic, so jumping around here and there. At that time, probably we fell into a puddle of water or in a bathtub, and we became afraid. Oh, I've fallen in this water and I'm drowning. Now we have grown up. That time our body was small. Now we have a grown-up body. But still the same idea may be there. Oh, I might drown in water, I might fall in water. So several of our present experiences are guided by the energies and experiences that we have had in the past. You can cut out that clutter. So for that, meditation is required. What is the true experience of meditation? When we are meditating, we will hear sounds because our ear will pick up sound vibration. But our mind will have no intent to process that sound. We will know how much time we have spent, but our mind will have no intent to process that time. We will know where we are, but our mind will have no intent to experience that knowledge that I am in my bed, I am on my sofa, I am in my home, none of that. So in deep meditation, you are in silence, in peace. And from that silence comes power and energy, which you can then utilize to empower your various goals, your targets, and achieve fantastic success. Get in touch with me. Call me at 9836 338 102. Since this is India's number, in case of calling from outside India, add +91. So India's country code and then 9836 338 102. My office is open on weekdays and also Sunday, but not on Monday, from India time, morning 11 o'clock to 5 p.m. So you may call during that period, or you may WhatsApp a message or an audio message at this number 9836 338 102. You can catch these programs on my YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/Avadhut Das, AVADHUTDAS, to catch my earlier programs and these programs also. And if you are in West Bengal, Kolkata, keep watching this channel 24 HRS TV, 24 hours TV. Every day morning 7 o'clock, evening 5 o'clock, my program is coming. I speak in different languages, so you may catch me in Bengali, in Hindi, or in English. Do come and attend my training. I conduct 2 days training on weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Merely 2 days training. In that you will learn the basic principles of and foundation of clairvoyance, of intuition, premonition, ESP, time distortion, time regression, time progression, and also out of body experience, OBE, astral travel, astral projections. You will learn to utilize more of your own inner senses to experience this world in a much more finer manner. And as we know, success happens when you pay attention to details. So keep watching this program on 24 Hours TV or in my YouTube channel or the 24 Hours TV YouTube channel. See you again in my next program. Till then, bye.